G'day lovelies, welcome back. Alrighty, tonight we're going to go down memory lane. Corned beef. You either loved it or you hated it. Alright, I've got a 1.8 kilo slab from Woolies. First thing I'm going to do is take it out its wrapper, stick it under some running cold water and wash all the outside. Once we've rinsed it really well and got all the slime off, we want to put it into a saucepan and we want it to fit in there nice and comfortably. Now we want to fill it up with warm water to cover the meat, and I would say like that far above it. Now we put it on the stove top and we want to bring it up to a boil. As soon as it starts boiling, we want to take it off and empty all the boiling water out. I will write the recipe below as always. So while we're bringing that up to a boil, we want to get one brown onion, peel it and cut it in quarters. Tonight I'm using maple syrup, 1 litre of chicken stock, pepper and brown sugar. If you don't have maple syrup, you can just use extra brown sugar. Alright, I've just put it off to the side because of the steam. Now we just did that to get rid of the excess salt. Now we want to add our 1 litre of chicken stock, and then with warm water we want to fill up the rest. Once we've done that, we want to add our onion quartered, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. Now if you're not using maple syrup, you put 2 tablespoons of brown sugar in, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, and then I'm going to grind some black peppercorns in there. Now we want to put it onto the stove top. We want to bring it up to a simmer. Once it starts simmering, we put the lid on. Now the old school timing is 40 minutes per 500 grams. So I've got a 1.8 kilo piece, so I worked it out to 2 hours and 25 minutes. So I'll leave it simmering with the lid on for 2 hours and 25 minutes and then I'll check it. So we want to simmer it until it's nice and soft. Now if you have a slow cooker, they're absolutely awesome for slow cookers. Just do the first bit in a pot so you can get rid of the excess salt and then put it in your slow cooker with everything. Alright, you need to stop snoring because you're doing my head in. I can't do it with you snoring. And you can't do it with you snoring. Exactly 2 hours and 25 minutes later and she's ready. I've got a butter knife and I went straight through it. So now what we do is when it's ready is we want to take it off of the heat. We want to take the lid off and we want to leave it sit there for 1 hour in its broth to cool down a bit. While it's doing that, you'd normally get all your veggies and that ready if that's what you're doing. So traditionally it was made with mashed potato, veggies and a cheese sauce. I don't have anything to do the cheese sauce with, but I have got a killer recipe, so I'll write that down below. So tonight I'm not doing the veggies, I'm just going to have some nice and hot in a roll. With the leftovers you put in the fridge and then you've got cold meat for the rest of the week. You can stick it in sandwiches for the kids or rolls for work. Once it's sat in its broth for an hour, it's ready to go. So what I do is I get a big strainer out now and I'll sit the meat in the strainer, leave it sitting there for 5 minutes to drain most of the juice off of it, and then whack it on a plate. If you're serving it all up on a dish, you could always put a little bit of maple syrup over the top. Just rub it in. Well, there you have it, lovelies. The best of old school, I say. If you haven't tried it before, you've got to give it a crack. Your family's either gonna love it or they're gonna hate it. For 17 bucks, it makes so much meat up, it's so worth it. I just want to take a minute to apologise for all the noises you may have heard in the background. They're only going to get worse. I do have a new addition to the family. I would like to introduce you to Ned. Ned is an 8-week-old Mastiff who knows he's going to be huge. And we're in the middle of potty training. And yes, it's a nightmare. But isn't he adorable? Thank you guys so much for watching. Have yourselves an awesome weekend and I'll see you really soon. Toodles!